There are two major congressional hearings scheduled. One on Monday would be the behind closed doors interview of Jared Kushner by the Senate Intelligence Committee. And that is a big deal. It won't be public, but obviously that's a big moment in this because Jared Kushner has been the subject of so much scrutiny. And then on Wednesday, scheduled to appear in a public hearing before a different committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, is Paul Manafort, the former Trump campaign manager, and Donald Trump Jr., obviously the president's son and a key player in the recent disclosures about a meeting involving a lawyer from Russia.
You know, things are going a million miles an hour. You know what it's like to be on a campaign. We just won Indiana, but we're talking about a contested convention. Things are going a million miles an hour again. And hey, wait a minute. I've heard about all these things, but maybe this is something. I should hear them out.
Each of the main players in these hearings is in a different situation. Kushner is unique in the sense that he is very close to the president. He works in the White House. He has a temporary security clearance, and he is being processed for a full White House security clearance. So in many ways, Kushner has more at stake in this process in terms of justifying his ongoing work for the president, essentially trying to reassure some skeptical lawmakers, yes, it's right and appropriate that I continue to work in the White House. Paul Manafort has a different situation because Paul Manafort, who was fired from the Trump campaign last year, is essentially out of the Trump universe completely at this point. But there is a long-running and far-reaching criminal investigation into his finances. So Manafort has to worry about that criminal investigation, whether anything he says might be problematic for that investigation. Donald Trump Jr. is actually in a different situation from the two of them in that he is still obviously very close to his father. He is running the family business, but he is still very much part of the president's inner circle. And so while he has to defend his own reputation, presumably that seems to be a pretty important thing to him, but he also is not in the White House and doesn't have the obligations of a government employee necessarily to answer all the committee's questions, but he's still someone who is so closely linked to the president that there's political dangers and public relations dangers to not cooperating with something like a congressional committee.